Hello, good evening, everyone. I hear that George asked me, he was asking people, what is Bishop Sutton going to speak about tonight? Because I didn't submit anything earlier. And I just said, tell him I'm going to speak about 5 minutes. I did have something, I had something prepared, but he sat on my iPad and shattered it. I just want to tell you very briefly tonight why I'm on the board of ISC, why I believe in this organization, why it matters. Several years ago, I was in South Africa at a conference. This conference was had people from all over the world who were discussing, I'm in the Anglican Communion, the Episcopal Church by the Anglican Communion. A lot of Anglicans are, how can we help heal the world? Because that's what we do. It comes from a vision, a faith vision. How can we heal whatever is broken? And there, for the first time, this guy, me, born and raised in Washington, D.C., and not very traveled around the world. I'm hearing these people from around the world, and I will never forget this bishop from Southern Africa who began to talk about how things were changing in his communities, in this diocese, about the lack of rain, about how the climate was changing and was making it harder for farmers to subsist, about various aspects of environmental degradation. And then he looked to us in the American delegation, and he looked right at us and he said, will you Americans do anything? Will you change anything in your lifestyle so that we may live? So that we may live. I vowed right then and there to say, we got to do something about our hurting world that's changing, and a lot of it is man-made. There's a word in South Africa. When we greet people, we say, hello, hey, hello, how you doing? Hello. You know what hello is in South Africa? It's a Zulu word. Sawubona. Sawubona. Sawubona literally means, I see you. I see you. And then if someone says Sawubona, you answer Njikona, which means I am here. Notice this, I see you, I am here. Sawubona, Njikona. Sawubona. It's really a way of saying that we're not in this alone, and that I'm not really a person unless you see me. Being seen is very important. And then to answer, I am here. And so we've established this word, communities. That we're not a bunch of individual units. What that bishop really wanted to know is there any room in your heart at all for me? For us. And that room, that space, we call love. Love. I'm in ISC because I'm in love. Now I know that word is thrown around a lot, and a lot of times it means, do you feel real good about somebody? I love my wife. In fact, just 2 minutes ago, before I came out, she was just calling me, wondering how did it go? My wife, Sonia, is easy to love. For one thing, she's smoking, well, she's beautiful. I love her hair, I love her face, I love her wrists. She has the best wrists in the world. I love what she says most of the time. I love almost everything about her. She's easy to love. She's in Connecticut at a conference now, or she would be here. And if you saw her and spent a minute with her, you would fall in love too. But that's not the kind of love I'm talking about. It's easy to love her, and there are easy places to love. It's easy for me to love Shelburne Farms. Been here 3 times now. I could fall in love here. I could be here forever. When I was in that room this afternoon, I never want to leave. Yes, I love it. But what about the unlovely and the unlovable places? I live in Baltimore, Maryland. There's a lot to love about Baltimore. You're in Baltimore, yeah. Yeah, around the waterfront, and up there, so much is happening. Glistening alabaster city in so many of its parts. But half my city is crumbling. It's crumbling, and it's not easy to love. Have you heard of Baltimore? We had an uprising last year. That uprising was the confluence of three things, which I call the unholy trinity: racism, poverty, and violence. Freddie Gray was killed in police custody. The city blew up. Freddie Gray lived a life with not a lot of opportunity. And one thing we know about Freddie Gray, when the autopsy was done, he was full of lead. He had lead poisoning. Where did that come from? You can take guesses. You know, the water system, many of our urban systems, the water going through lead pipes. Flint, Michigan is just the tip of the iceberg. And then the newspapers showed a photograph of Freddie Gray as a young kid standing by a window in his house. And you looked at that window and you saw the flakes of the lead paint flaking off. Freddie Gray had problems in his life. Many of them, we know, came from lead. That's environmental degradation. And there are a lot of issues that are facing the areas in which I see every week. And I walk the streets sometimes alone, sometimes with others, just meeting with people who want to be seen because they're invisible. No one ever sees them. And one of the things I vow to do is if I can do anything to help heal their environments so that they may live, I'm going to do it. When Richard Paisner and George Hamilton talked to me and said, would you join this organization? And I made a show of it. Oh, let me think about that. I knew I was going to do it. Because with this organization which you started, Governor Coonan, it goes into communities around the world of places that may not have been seen before. And by seeing them, when your team goes in, George, and tries to build communities, getting people to work together, it's like see each other, and in seeing each other, maybe we can help heal what is wrong here. That's an organization that I just want to be part of. That's why I'm here. I'm here because of love. Now, as you know, I'm with a faith-based organization, we say in Washington, D.C. I can prove it, I have a collar somewhere. And you would expect me to talk about faith and God and all this. It makes no difference to me if people in this room are religious or not. If you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, or non-aligned. But I'm here to tell you, as the bishop of a church, this is God's work. This is spiritual work. Because you're making connections. Connections of love between people, and you're noticing whatever is broken, you're seeing it, and it's a work of love. So just finally, it may be antiquated to think that love can solve the world's problems. I know there's a lot to do. But maybe the Beatles were right. Love, love, love. Love is all you need. Or Dionne Warwick, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. How many have heard that? Yes, you're old, you're old, you're old. But I believe it. I believe it. If we don't get that right, nothing gets right. If we don't see each other in Salabona, it isn't going to get right. And so I leave you with this, instead of the Beatles or Dionne Warwick, this is what my mother used to sing. It came from a church. It's an old Shaker hymn. My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real though far off hymn that hails a new creation. No storms can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. If love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Above the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds and echoes in my soul. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. If love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Salabona.